Hello, hello, hello. We're live. Does anyone else dance to the music in the background as we're setting up this session? Just me? Never mind. All right. Hi, guys. So glad to have you live. My name is Deborah Ashley, the LinkedIn Black Belt, and I help my clients to leverage LinkedIn to build their brand and to reach their organizational and business goals. So today, I'm so excited because we are live in 3 different places. So if you are in one of these places, I want you to share who you are and what you do and who you're affiliated with, right? So we're live over for the very first time. We're live over at Twitterland. So I have to find out what that looks like after this. So hey to everyone in Twitterland, go ahead and drop your hellos and your greetings if you're on Twitterland. We're live over on YouTube land, right? And then, of course, this is all about LinkedIn, so we're definitely live on LinkedIn land, or as the suburbs, as I used to call it. So if you are live with me in any of those places, definitely drop your information, who you are, even what city or state or what country you're from. So today we have a very special show. You know, we do this thing weekly, but today we have a very special show. And what I wanted to share, because we typically talk about, how to better maximize your use of LinkedIn, how to share content, how to get the courage to share content, how to build your network. But there's one key piece that's missing time and time again, and it's typically 75 to 80% of the equation. It's about, do you have the right type of profile set up? And if you do, is it maximized to build your credibility and to build your visibility? Most people, they cannot say yes to that. So I'm going to show you a few things today. So let's go ahead and get everything set up. As we are setting things up, just wanted to say again, if you are in the room, go ahead and share, where you're from and maybe what's your favorite part about LinkedIn? Like, are you a content creator? Are you more of a person who just engages? Share a little bit with that with me, okay? Let me go ahead and share this. It's always so much fun, like being able to share and multitask at the same time. All right, so we have fabulous stuff going. Let's just make this a little easier for you guys to see. All right, here we go. So today we're talking about 8 quick tips to improve your LinkedIn profile. And this is really about what to focus on to build trust and visibility on LinkedIn so that you can continue to stay top of mind as an industry resource. Let me know can you see the screen okay? Let me know. I see Imad is in the room. Let me know if you can see the screen okay, if you can see everything okay. Let me know if that's better. I hate to block the area by doing it like that, but let me know if everything is clear on that end. It looks like it is. Make sure it is. All right. I think everything's okay, right? Imad, if I pronounce your name properly, let me know if you can see the screen at this point. All right. We will move on until you guys tell me otherwise. So what we'll cover today, and I always like to focus on what we're going to cover. I'm here to make sure that I'm respecting your time. Typically, it takes about 20 minutes. So I like to do these things at around lunchtime for most people, and if not, you can always come back and watch it. We're going to talk about just an overview of the LinkedIn profile, how to start to think about that. That's going to take about 2 minutes. Then we're going to go through each of the 8 tips. If you've been on any of my lives before, you know that I like to do breakdowns on every single part of it. Then we're going to wrap up. So just really 3 main areas that we're going to work on today. So first, let's talk about an overview of the LinkedIn profile. As I mentioned a little bit earlier on, when we think about how to utilize your LinkedIn profile, whether you're with an organization or you have your own business or anything else, you always have to understand that this is your central area. So whether people Google your name, whether people see you commenting on someone's post, whether someone sees a piece of content that you put out, they're always, and typically, if it's intriguing enough, if it's compelling enough, they're always going to go back to your LinkedIn profile to see who you are. So your goal, we always talk about you only have one job, right? Your goal is to make sure that whatever you're putting out there and however you're putting yourself out there, that people are going back to your LinkedIn profile, because your profile, you're not selling on the LinkedIn platform. Your profile is where you are pulling them in, where the opportunities begin. And it all depends on your goals. So you also have to think about, what is my goal for LinkedIn? What am I trying to achieve? Am I trying to build brand awareness? Is there a new product launching soon with my organization? So am I trying to get as many eyes on our content as possible? So am I trying to build brand awareness? Am I trying to build thought leadership? So you could be a CMO, you could be a founder, and now there are other goals within the organization, but you have been tapped to be the face and to be the one that builds a thought leadership within the organization. So you start to build your audience on LinkedIn. Now, am I there to actually, it's for lead gen, straight lead gen. I have something that I am selling. I'm looking to do, I have an offer and I'm really just like trying to sell specific things. It could be a myriad of things. You really have to be able to understand your goals. So when we think about your LinkedIn profile, everything's going to start there really, but based on your goal is based on how you build out your profile. All right, so let's start with the 8 quick tips. The first one, and I'm going to go through the tips first, and then once I go through the tips, we're going to break them all down one by one. The first tip is to update your LinkedIn profile URL. You know what, this is, we hear this time and time again. This seems like it might be the easiest tip that we should know about, but not too many people have done it, because I've looked at thousands of profiles. I've done at least 800 profile assessments over the past 12 months. But just in my everyday, I see profiles every single day and it's just not done. So that's one. Update your banner image. We'll go into that too. Number 3, build a thought leadership branded profile. I'll let you know exactly what that actually means. Number 4, we want to add featured media. Number 5, niche down on relevant skills. And there's actually an article that came out recently. LinkedIn CEO shared that about how skills are a lot more relevant than job titles at this point in our world, in this ever evolving business world. Number 6, update your recommendations. Number 7, connect on your company page. Of course, I'll let you know specifically what that actually means. And number 8, make it easier to contact you. If you want people to contact you, make it easier for people to contact you, okay? All right, let's start with updating your LinkedIn profile URL. So when you first joined LinkedIn, and for most of us, we've joined LinkedIn years ago, like a long time ago. But what happened when you first joined LinkedIn, LinkedIn assigns you with a profile URL. Just like if you're on YouTube, you're assigned a profile URL. You get to change it on LinkedIn on your own. It doesn't matter. You could have 2 connections and you can change it. On YouTube, I know you cannot. However, what you don't want to do, because this is part of building your personal brand. So typically what it looks like is linkedin.com/in/your name with a dash in between 5487321, making that number up, but it's a series of numbers after your name. What you now want to go into the profile URL area, and there's an edit section. You're going to edit it. Think about the name that you typically use if you're, just your everyday interactions when you're networking, if you have other social media accounts. Think of what you typically use and you would update it to change it to that. Because what you don't want to happen is that if someone has a hard time trying to spell your name, or if your name is extremely common like Jane Smith, and if someone goes to look you up as Jane Smith on LinkedIn, they're going to find tens of thousands of people. So you want to be able to have a profile URL that you can put on your business cards, if we're still your digital cards, right? If we're still using the business cards, yeah, we still are. But we want to still have something that you can tell someone that this is how to find me on LinkedIn, and it's by this LinkedIn profile URL if they can't find you through the regular channels. All right, so update your LinkedIn profile URL. I'm going to give you that as your homework, by the way, guys. So, I do this show every single week. So we're going to meet back next Wednesday, and this is going to be your homework. And you can even, if you decide you updated your profile, I'll most likely share a post about that this week. If you can go ahead and comment in the post and let me know that you've done it, okay? All right, second thing, update your banner image. As you know, the same thing. When you first get onto LinkedIn, they actually just give you that. Typically, it was before it wasn't a not so beautiful blue and grayish banner image. It actually got a lot better, but it still makes you get lost in the sea of noise. So in this example, what we're trying to think about, how do I want to position myself? How do I want to build my personal brand? Now, as we start to think about that, if you can see from Peggy Schultz, what she did is she took the company brand, which is Next Level Apparel, and she showed a unified voice with that brand, which to me, I think is brilliant because as you can see, there's diversity there too. So that's a brilliant way. If you're in marketing, a VP of marketing, a CMO, this is extremely important that you update your profile banner, and it can either speak to who you are as the brand, so as the company voice, or it can speak to the company. So you guys saying you still can't see it. Charlene said she cannot see a thing. So that's really strange. Okay, Charlene cannot see a thing. Let me know. I think it's just started. All right, I need to know, like, comment guys in the chat. Let me know if you can see something. I don't know if you cannot see me, but let me know if you cannot see anything at all, okay? Comment below and let me know in the chat. And I'll kind of wait to hear from the comments. And I don't know if it's just you, Charlene, so it'd be great to hear from other people. Let me just also check my LinkedIn and see from my end too, because that would be extremely helpful. At all, okay? All right, you're right. Yeah, we cannot see a thing. All right, so let's stop this screen and let's go. So can you guys see me now? Because it's a blank screen, which is kind of strange. It's a blank screen on my end. So let's attempt to share this again. All right, can you guys see anything now? Okay, good. So you can see now. Okay, I think there's a delay on my end. I'm actually looking on my phone. I don't see anything. But Stephanie can see something. Danielle, can you see anything? Leslie, let me know if you can see something, okay? It's working. Fabulous. The game is back. And we pretty much just started, guys. So this is a wonderful thing, right? This is a wonderful thing. Let me just show you the example of what we had before. It was the LinkedIn profile URL. This is an example of a bad profile, the one where I have the X, and that's what LinkedIn pretty much they set up your account like that initially in the beginning. Where you see the check is where we have an optimized LinkedIn personal URL where it is optimized for your personal brand. So whether you're with a company, whether you're with on your own, just use your name. As long as you don't have like a common name, just use your name, or if there's a specific name that you're known by, you can use that too. An example of a banner image that's optimized, I'll show you a few more. So here's an example from a CMO from Dragon Boat. I love how she's able to use the image from the company page, and she incorporated that with her banner. Also, another great example from Russell Stokes. He's actually with UPS, but he is part of the aviation services. So can you see how he got really creative with it? This is like an airport strip, right? Can you see how he really got creative with how he set up his banner image? Have fun with it. What I'm going to tell you guys, I'm showing you examples to let you know that you can have fun with this. So if your goal is to have more speaking engagements because it's going to help your company get in front of a lot of people, because that's an excellent way to get in front of a lot of people, and you're a speaker, that's part of the thing that you do. Just have a picture of you speaking before an audience and make sure you have the crowd with you, right? All right, so let's go on to the next tip. So when we think about building a thought leadership branded profile, it does not sound like a resume. So you guys have seen this before, and you know, if you read this, every single word in here, give me an idea, guys. If you can share in the chat, what do you think is wrong with this about section? Share with me in the chat. What do you think is wrong with this about section? So right now we're talking about your thought leadership branded profile. And more than, you know, it sounds like a resume, but would you stop and have interest? And maybe you would. I'm going to show you some differences. What do you think is not necessarily, I'm not going to say wrong, but what do you think that could be corrected about this profile? While you're sharing in the chat, let me show you an example of an about section that builds thought leadership. When we talk about a thought leadership branded profile, we're talking about building your visibility. So as an example, your about section, it's not really about you. So it's about the work that you do, and it's about building your credibility, but it's really speaking to the audience that's going back to look at your profile, be able to understand, what are they going through? What are they thinking about? What's going on in their day-to-day? What are their challenges? So now you're building out your profile to help them to understand, oh, wow, I've seen this person, and now I have their profile after seeing their content, and I can see how they can help me to solve my problem. I can see how their product can help me to solve the problem that I have. So here's some no-nos. We're going to eliminate these 5 words. If anyone has seen my content, these are some words that I'm typically saying, please remove from your profile, your about section. Proven track record. That belongs on a resume. That belongs on a cover letter. Maybe. Your profile, your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. Detailed oriented, results driven, team player. Remember, we used to use team player this is like back in the 90s. I remember everything was if there was an interview question, every answer would be, I'm a team player. Who's not, right? Motivated. So words like that, if you have any words like that in your profile, you want to eliminate it. You don't want to sound like everyone else. You want to start using your profile to build thought leadership. And that also includes building a narrative around your brand. Thinking about, you know, what are people coming to my profile to see, and being able to understand. So this is like clarity on your audience, right? Clarity on your positioning, but most of all, clarity on your audience. So now, what problems are they going through? What's not being said? And if you can call out the elephant in the room, you can most likely stand out above the noise. All right. So instead, we're talking about clarity to your area of expertise. We're talking about the broader industry challenges and opportunities, and we're also sharing next steps. This profile that I showed you before, this about section, this was the entire about section. So you can see that it doesn't add any depth to who the person is and the value that they can add. All right. Our next tip, in order to make sure that we are maximizing that amazing profile that we have built out. Now, what we're thinking about is we have, wait, is it black again? It stopped working again. All right, so let's stop the share. This is like the first time it's happened. And it could be, the only difference that I had this time is that I'm using Twitter. So that might be the only difference. All right, let's see if let me know if it works. Okay, should be good now. All right, so we have this area on LinkedIn. Not everyone uses it. It's called the featured area. What it typically looks like, and if everyone can't see the screen, what I'll have, if you want to have a copy of this slide deck, just let me know. Most likely I will upload it to LinkedIn tomorrow, but comment in the chat too. If you want a copy of the slide deck, let me know, okay? All right, so when we think about the featured area, there's an area where you can just add media and accomplishments on LinkedIn. So a few things that I always suggest add your best piece of content that speaks to your audience. And it depends, like I mentioned, it depends on your goal for LinkedIn. Some people, if they're a speaker, I would say to add your speaker deck. I would add a link to YouTube where you have a short speaker reel. You can add a few different things, but it's prime real estate. So do not leave that area blank. It's a really, really great area for you to leverage. All right, so the next thing that we should focus on, we want to niche down on relevant skills. So like I mentioned, when we think about how we do marketing, how we do business, how we stand out and make sure that we position ourselves as an industry leader, it's about focusing on specific skill sets where we're the strongest, right? So when we look at the skill area of the LinkedIn profile, it's very, very hard to tell, what does this person actually specialize in? Can anyone tell me? If you can tell me in the chat, can anyone tell me? And I want to make sure that you guys can see this. So let's attempt to do this again. All right, can you guys, if you guys can see it, let me know, what does this person specialize in? If you can see this screen right now. I want to make sure that you guys can see it properly. Can you guys see the screen? Just give me a yes or no. Yes or no in the chat. Can you see the screen? And I'm sure there's probably a delay also. It's still blank. So what I'll do, let me go through it really quickly. So in this person's skill area, they have recruiting, they have teaching, they have business development, they have Microsoft Office, they have project planning, they have staff development, they have editing, they have personnel management, government, and so on and so on. So it's really hard to figure out what is this person's specialty. So what you want to do in the skill area, and for me, you get 50 options. You get 50 options in the skill area, but just keep it to 12 to 15. I know it's going to be harder to keep it to that little, but you want to just keep it to 12 to 15 to really, really position your expertise, okay? All right, recommendations. What you want to do when you think about recommendations, there's recommendations and there's endorsements. How you want to think about this, you want to make sure that in the past 6 months, so the past, for me, it's the past 4 to 6 months, you want to have someone, someone who you've worked with in the past, a colleague, maybe you've done a project for someone, have them recommend, and that's more for testimonial, right? Have them write a testimonial, have them recommend you for something based on your expertise. If you have something, and right now, for those who cannot see the screen, if you have something where your last testimonial, your last recommendation was 2010, way too far back. I mean, we're in 2020 now. So even something, to me, if it was in 2021, it's still fairly old. So if you can reach out to your people, and I'm also going to give that as a homework. We have our session next week. I'll give that as a homework. Reach out to your people and try to get some recommendations so you can update your recommendation area, okay? And then we also say connect with your company page. Now, if you go down to your company page, not a lot of people will see their logo on their page. They see a grayed out area. So what you have to make sure you do in order to maximize and improve your profile, you want to make sure that you're connected to the company. The company has its own page. So you want to make sure that you're actually connected to the company that you're affiliated with. And then finally, you want to make it easy for the person to be able to reach out to you. There could be someone in the media who wants to speak to you about something specific because you have that skill set. There might be an organizer who needs to have your expertise on a panel. So you want to talk about next steps. You can add your email. You can add your phone number if you want. I don't recommend adding your phone number. Email's always best, but most of all, you can have a contact form. So if you do demos for your business or your brand, then I would have the contact form, and then that would be a link to the demo. All right, guys, as always, this is it. I've taken up a lot of your time. Typically, I like to keep this for 20 minutes. If you'd like me to help you to build out where you hand everything off to me, so you have me build out your exact profile for you. You do not have to do any work. You fill out a simple questionnaire. I build out your profile. I return it back to you in 14 days. We talk about your positioning. We talk about your messaging. If you'd like me to help you to do that, then I'd love for you to send me a message on LinkedIn. Send me a message on LinkedIn. If you prefer, you can always send me a message, add it to this chat and I'll reach out to you too. All right, if you guys have any questions, what I'll do is I'm gonna make it easy and I'm just gonna actually upload this as a piece of content on LinkedIn this week. So go ahead and look for that. If you want a copy of the slide deck, make sure that you comment in the chat. So I'm gonna tag you on that post. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday and a wonderful rest of the week. Sorry we didn't get a lot of this to work, but next week we're gonna do a lot better. I'll chat with you soon. Bye.